Hello, and welcome to this Georgia Department of Education video tour of our new platform, Inspire. Inspire is where we are housing our curriculum maps, Georgia Learning Standards, and the many resources that teachers can use in their classrooms. You are familiar with finding these items on our georgiastandards.org website. Now let's take a look at where they are in Inspire. And I think you're going to find this a lot more intuitive and friendly to find what you need. But first, let's take a quick look at how to get here. You can simply go up to your URL address bar and type in inspire.gadoe.org and press enter, and that will take you to the home page. If you're like me and sometimes you can't remember the exact URL, you can go to any search engine and type in Georgia Inspire and press enter. And the first link that comes up will be inspire.gadoe.org, and just click on that, and there you are. So when you first come into Inspire, you have a greeting and the date, and then you have three tabs. You've got the Home tab, the Courses tab, and the Standards tab. And we're going to take a look at each one. I am going to call your attention to the Sign In button up here. You do not need to sign in to access all of the resources that are in Inspire. In just a little bit, I'll show you what signing in will give you. So let's start on the Courses tab. On the Courses tab, you can see all of the courses that you've always found over here in georgiastandards.org. The beauty of this is now we can search by grade. So if I'm in 4th grade and I want to see all of the courses for 4th grade, I can search that way. If I want to see all of the subjects, let's set that back to all grades. And now I set it to social studies, and I can see all of the social studies classes. I can also search for a specific class if I want to. And as you see, now we have this My Courses button, and this is where the Sign In button comes to play. If you create an account and sign in, then you can save only the courses that you want to work with to your My Courses area. So if I click on that, I can see that 4th grade social studies is in My Courses. And let's take a look at 5th grade social studies. So here you have the course description, which is what you find at the top. We're going to go into 5th grade here. And if we go into the Georgia Standards, here you will see the course description. We scroll down on our Georgia Standards page past the content videos, which you will also be able to find in Inspire. You can see the 5th grade curriculum map. Now these units are broken out, and the lessons for each, the sample lessons for each unit are found there under the unit itself. So for example, here we have the curriculum map, and here it's broken out by the units. We've got connecting themes, we've got citizenship, business, and the government, bigger, better, faster. And if we come over to Inspire, we can see the same thing, connecting themes, citizens, business, and the government, bigger, better, faster. And then under each of these, for example, if I go into citizens, business, and the government, you found a PDF that had all of the individual activities. So here's our connecting themes and enduring understandings, the standards. I'll show you where all of that is in just a moment. And then we have the various lessons, responsibilities, and here's the handout that goes with that. We've got due process, and here's the handout that goes with that. And here's amending the Constitution. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that looks in Inspire. So under our connecting themes, actually we were under citizens, business, and the government. I can hide my lessons if I want to, or I can view them. And I'm going to go to this unit planning tab, and here's where we have the elaborated unit focus. We've got the connecting themes and enduring understandings, the information processing skills, the standards. So now let's go under lessons and resources. Okay, all those individual broken out lessons that you saw in that long PDF document, you can now find here as individual lessons. So let's take a look at due process. That was one of the ones we saw. I can expand this, and here I have the different parts of the lessons, and all of those handouts that were at the end of the lesson, now they are right here in the text where you need them. So it says hand out the due process survey, and if we click here, we have the actual due process survey, and I just click on that. And it's going to download here because it's a Word document, and then I just click on where it downloaded, and it opens up the due process survey. And here we have it. I can print it, I can edit it, I can do whatever I want to do with it. And then our ideas for differentiation are still at the bottom right here. And then all of the resources that are linked up here can also be found individually down here. And this is really nice because here I have them right where I need them, but here I can add them to my Google Classroom. In fact, I can add this whole lesson to my Google Classroom if you use that. I can copy just the survey to the clipboard so I can send it to maybe a school printer or a network printer where I want to just send the survey. I can copy it in an email to my coworkers. I can also view this lesson in full screen, and I can print it from here, and I can share it with others, and I have some other choices here again to add it to the Google Classroom and so forth. And I can print the entire lesson directly from here. So it opens up in this window, and I can just hit the print button, and there you have it. And the lesson resources are as QR codes. I do want to show you that Word documents download as we just saw, but PDFs and other images and things like that will open directly. So for example, here, if we want to display Article 5 of the Constitution and read it to the class, this will open up as you can see, that's a JPEG. So that's going to open up directly in this window. And again, you can also print it from here too. So each lesson, as we saw in each lesson, we have the lesson resources that go specifically with that lesson down here at the bottom. There are some resources that go across the entire unit, and those can be found along here. For example, the teacher content videos. Here on our Georgia Standards page, you had to scroll past the teacher content videos to get to the curriculum map and the sample lessons. In Inspire, the teacher content videos can be found right here at the bottom. So if I click on this, it's going to open up the teacher content video just as it did on the Georgia Standards page. And again, the same features. You can add specifically the teacher, well, you wouldn't add this to Google Classroom because teacher content videos are for teachers, but if this were a student resource, again, you could add it to your Google Classroom. If you really enjoyed working with that PDF, you can still find it here. You can see the whole thing is here under the unit resources. The source set, the PowerPoints that accompany units are also found down here, and a number of other things. Let's take a look at this final tab, the unit standards. And there are standards tagged to each lesson as well, but let's take a look at it for the whole unit. So these are all of the standards that are tagged to this unit. And the really nice thing here is, so on georgiastandards.org, you would open up the standards as a separate entire document, and you would have the whole thing here, and you would scroll through all of the standards. In Inspire, the beauty is now you see just the standard that you want to look at. So for example, if we're looking at the economics understandings that go with this unit, we can see the standards listed here, and I can open up just standard E2, economics 2, and it's going to load it here, and here it's already highlighted for me, and I can see the elements. But here's a new feature that we're really excited about. The Social Studies Content Standard is now associated with the WIDA language standard for our multilingual learners. So for example, describe the functions of the four major sectors of the U.S. economy is associated with the WIDA language standard to inform and the explain expressive standard. So for every standard in here, you can come over here and see the WIDA language association. And I think you'll find that really helpful. So let's close this. So all of this has been on the curriculum map tab. Now let's take a look at the course resources tab. All of the resources that are not specific to a unit or a lesson, but that span the entire course. So for example, the connecting themes and enduring understandings. Those will go across all units in this course, and so it can be found here. And again, you have the same options to open it in a new window or to print the resource. The 5th grade curriculum map can be found here in the format that we saw on the Georgia Standards page rather than the bar across the top. So if you like to see it this way for planning purposes, you can. And the teacher notes, which go by standard rather than by unit. And so those can be found here. let's take a quick look at our Assessment tab. Here is where you will find all resources that have to do with assessment. So for example, we've got the Georgia Milestones Assessment Guide. This would be for the end of course or end of grade, the Georgia Milestones Assessment System, the Georgia Milestones Resources, and finally, let's take a look at our course standards. And these are the standards that are not specific to the unit. These are the standards that are specific to the entire course. And it's the same thing where we can click on each one and see the WIDA Standard Association. Once you sign in and create an account, you can add items to your courses. And at any time, if you need to switch to another course or you just want to get back to the main tab, if you just come up here and click on the Godot Inspire icon, it takes you back to this courses tab. And we have just one more thing to look at, the standards tab, which we've kind of already seen, but let's look at it from this point of view. Here you can click on the standards and you can choose any subject area and find just the standards for that subject area. So if I want to see what the computer science standards are, I can click here and it opens up in this familiar window, which you can close when you are done. And that is pretty much it. I hope you found this tour helpful. I hope you enjoy working in Inspire. We think it's a lot more intuitive and easy to use. And thanks for watching.